To start us off, it's great to see so many people in this room, and it's coaching typically is done on a one-on-one basis, especially when we're coaching around topics such as confidence, because it's very different for every individual. But we are going to do our best to kind of address things as a group and address the themes and similarities that come up with this topic. Building career confidence. This is never what somebody asks me to do when they come to a coaching session. But ultimately, probably 80% of my career coaching relationships, we end up landing on this topic later in our relationship because there are pieces that are impacted by how confident we feel about ourselves as professionals. And it's not always about, you rating yourself in this process, but it's about maintaining your confidence because, especially in the job search, I saw some of that up in introductions. Job search is such a defeating process. We put a lot out there and we get very little back. And so then we start filling in the story behind why we're not getting information back. And then that just slowly or quickly chips away at our confidence that we're bringing to the table. And so that can make a big impact on how we continue to show up and do our job search day after day in that process. My goal today is not that you all walk away and, well, I wish you would all walk away with 100% confidence in yourself, but that's not something that I can guarantee. What I want you to walk away with is taking a good look at where you're at with your confidence right now and starting to reframe how you are evaluating yourself as a professional in this process. Now, this is only a tiny piece of building confidence, but it is an important one that can get the ball rolling forward on this. So, outside of what has been shared in chat already, does anyone else want to unmute or share a comment about why you're here today? Yeah, Crystal, I see your hand.
Hi, so I work in the childcare industry, and because of all the changes, I ended up working in a remote learning center. So we just have students of parents who are essential workers. And even though I really like working with kids, and this is like totally different, so I learned that I have skills in project management, and I kind of want to switch over to that field.
Oh, okay. So this has caused an exciting moment, but also a moment of how do I do that, right? Just because I now discovered another skill, how do I actually make that happen?
Yeah,
W- Well, congratulations on finding new skills in this process. I do think
thank you.
that many people who industries have really changed are in a position like you, Crystal, where they're trying to figure out, okay, does this really make sense for me anymore? And have I discovered new things about myself that make me interested in other opportunities? So we'll talk a little bit about kind of building that confidence in a transition going forward too. Thanks for
Thank you.
sharing.
Hi, my name is Andrea,
Hi,
and
Andrea.
hi everybody. And I'm in Jersey, so I'm on the East Coast. I am still currently employed, but I'm not so much that I'm unhappy with my job. But I've been there for actually 24 years, and I know I have more skills, more talents that I'm not able to use and express while in my current position. There's a possibility that next year I may be able to retire, so to speak, purely to go and start something else new in my life.
Mm.
And I want to have the skills and something behind me to say that I can do that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, congratulations on your path so far. And it
Yeah, but I
sounds
feel
like,
like it does. I feel like my past has done nothing for me. So, no, I don't want to say nothing for me, but I feel like if a person doesn't have something behind them saying, yeah, you know what, you're qualified to do that, even though I can do it 1,000 times either better or more experience or more hands on. It's just, it feels like it goes nowhere.
mm-hmm. So part of it is about kind of telling the story behind your history so that that comes across in your new adventure too. Okay.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Great.
To update my skills, I would have to maybe go into web or something like that. But I don't have the confidence to, I don't know how much like maybe I know it already and I don't know, but I don't have the confidence to go into a job and say, hey, I can do that. One of those
Yeah.
fake it till you make it kind of situations.
Yeah, and confidence comes from what you actually do, right? When it's also about kind of what you bring to the table. You don't have to know the subject per se, but you know how you learn, you know how you perform, you know how you deliver. And that can be applicable to other industries too. And so it's not always looking at the subject expertise that you bring, but what's the process expertise? What's the organization? What are the characteristics about you that really do make you ultimately an asset to learning anything new in this process?
Mhm.
So I want to take an opportunity to do a little bit of live one-on-one coaching with a volunteer or two as we go through this, so you all can see the process, the thought process that I would take an individual through to start impacting their confidence. And then I'm going to take you all as a group through that so that you can feel the impact yourself. And then we'll talk about some overall recommendations that have made positive impact on others I've worked with or related to the career process. So thank you for sharing. To start us off, I think the important factor is that confidence is not static in what we do, and that it's something, I see it as something that you have to constantly feed in the process, because what we do as humans, it's our human nature. We're always feeding self-doubt. We're always remembering our mistakes. We are always kicking ourselves when we're down in this process. And so if we're going to feed self-doubt, we need to feed self-confidence too. So we need to actually make a practice of paying attention to where we are with our confidence and putting some intention around how we are maintaining and building our confidence, instead of just letting it slowly chip away. And as I already mentioned, right, the job search, the career change process can be daunting, and that can shovel things to feed the self-doubt in this process. So how I'd like to start is just by asking for one volunteer let's raise your hand in the participants panel. So if you click on participants down below, raise your hand if you would like to just have a mini coaching session in front of this group. I know it takes bravery in that process, but feel free to raise your hand there. Oh, we got a volunteer already.
We got a volunteer. Sergio's in. Oh, there's others who might be interested as well. Sergio, I think you got there first.
Okay, so we'll do Sergio, and then Kelly will have you be up just in case. Thanks, Sergio, for volunteering. How are you today?
And not bad, not bad.
Okay.
Can I just ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
So I've worked in the hospitality industry for many, many years here in Central Florida, running events anywhere from 50 to 2,500, 3,000 people. How do you get then, once people take a look at the resume, that's the only thing they see, but they don't understand that. How do you get recruiters to understand that hospitality industry and the project managing that comes with managing a team of 100 people,
Yeah.
200 people. That can translate to almost any other industry, as long as you're given the chance to understand the processes and to learn the processes and principles that they have in place at, either construction site, manufacturing plant, anything like that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I bet that's on a lot of folks' mind here as you're making career transition in this process. So it's really important that you do the translation for them. Because they're going through applications quickly and they're not going to make those connections. If they had the time, they would make those connections. But because they're going through things so quickly, you have to make the connections for them and make it bold for them to see in that aspect. So there are recommendations on career changers resumes, the format of those that you can take a look at. I know that SkillUp also offers some kind of look at industries and support there, and so that would be a first place that I would go. But this is the tedious part of the process. No one likes when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You have to tailor your application material and make those translations for them, and call out that what the impact of that skill brought to hospitality that will bring to them. And you have to, another question that I encourage people to ask yourself is, what need are you trying to fill for their organization? We've been taught a lot that, you're supposed to get into a career and then you retire from that career. And that is way not what the workforce is like anymore. And so it's actually more important to think about, what can I potentially learn from my next step that would help me in the future, and take an exploration or a learning mindset into it, because you may fall into the next opportunity and it may be permanent. It may be something you stay for 15, 20 years. Great. That would be wonderful. However, it also may be something you do for a little while and you learn and you leverage that to the next opportunity. So I think some of the confidence gets impacted by us wanting to know what is the perfect next move. And my answer to that question is a step forward. Any move is a move. You will learn and you will explore from that. And then you can take that experience, that opportunity, and it'll help lead you to another one. But don't let the fear of failure paralyze you in where you're at right now, because something isn't working right now. That's why you're here today. Can an old dog learn new tricks? You've been learning new tricks all along. Your roles have evolved. The world around you has evolved. You have evolved with it. You may not have paused and recognized it, but you have in that process. So take a moment to really recognize how you have gone through change and transition before, and what has prepared you to do that again, even if you've been forced into the moment that you're in right now. Okay, sorry, y'all, that's a lot of me talking at you. I know everyone's stories, especially around confidence, are very different. What does your experience as a seasoned professional bring to the table? And these are the things that you should be sharing with others and keeping in the forefront of your mind as you go forward.